Works Committee of the Metro Council. Today is Monday, June 15th, a few minutes past 4 p.m. And detecting, I hope, a quorum. I scroll through. I will call this meeting to order. Colleagues, as previously, when I do have the share function for our agenda, it does somewhat diminish my ability to look at the participant queue. So I'm just going to quickly take this motion, and if I can get somebody to second it, then we will call the roll. Pursuant to Governor Lee's Executive Order number 16 regarding electronic meetings is extended by Executive Order number 34. I make a motion that this committee meeting agenda constitutes essential business of the Metropolitan Council, and that meeting electronically is necessary to protect the health, safety, and welfare of Tennesseans in light of the COVID-19 outbreak.
Second, or I'll make a motion. Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Okay, thank you. So moved. Quickly, as we move through the agenda, if you would please just unmute and quickly say present. Councilwoman Allen. Councilwoman Benedict.
Present.
Councilman Bradford.
Present.
Councilwoman Evans. Councilwoman Evans, are you present? Council Lady Gamble.
Present.
Thank you. Councilman Hall. Council Lady Hurd.
Here.
Thank you. Councilman Nash.
Present.
Thank you. Councilman O'Connell. Councilman O'Connell, are you present? Councilman Roten. Councilman Roten, are you present? Councilman Young, Vice Chair Young.
Present.
Present. All righty, let's see. So, Council Lady Allen, are you now present? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we do have a quorum, so we will proceed into our agenda. Okay, by way of a brief chair report, Ms. Stone let me know from Public Works that she is not able to be present on the call, but did reach out with an update that we will be receiving at next meeting per my request, and I think for a while in the works, a more kind of detailed reporting and accounting to colleagues, not just on our committee, but to the body of work that is in progress in your district, and the horizon for that work, whether that be paving, sidewalks, kind of where that is in the queue and in the process. So I appreciate her willingness to get that for folks. And she said that that is in progress and she will be reporting back most immediately. I think we're all seeing a lot of paving get underway, and so she'll report particular to that, but then also for other infrastructure and traffic calming and otherwise. So with that, I believe also I want to recognize we have a guest on the call regarding an agenda item, maybe familiar to some of you for her leadership in the past on the Mayor's Bicycle and Pedestrian Advocacy Committee, and now representing Vanderbilt University, Mary Pat Teague. Ms. Teague, are you on the call?
I'm muted.
Okay, I just wanted to introduce you and thank you as a guest for being on the call. And so we'll, if you will remute, then we can, we'll inquire when we get to your agenda item. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Okay, colleagues, we have three agenda items to start that are pertaining to CSX and encroachments. And so what I would propose is I will read the three resolutions into the record, but that we can take them together for discussion and a vote. If after I read these into the record, if a district council member or others have concern about these being taken together, please don't hesitate to let me know. And we're going to go a little bit informal here again, colleagues, because of the way WebEx is setting up this participant queue. It's hard for me to see if you have raised your hand. So if this pertains to your district, please feel free to unmute and ask to be recognized. Okay, resolution RS 2020-379, Mendez, Murphy, and Henderson authorizes the Metro Department of Water and Sewerage Services, hereinafter called the licensee, to enter into a facility encroachment agreement with CSX Transportation, Inc., hereinafter called the licensor, to construct, use, and maintain a sanitary sewer line in the railroad right-of-way along Hurricane Creek in Davidson County. Okay, additionally, RS 2020-380, Mendez, Murphy, and Henderson authorizes the Metropolitan Department of Water and Sewerage Services, hereinafter called the licensee, to enter into a facility encroachment agreement with CSX Transportation, Inc., hereinafter called the licensor, to construct, use, and maintain sanitary sewer line in the railroad right-of-way along Hurricane Creek in Davidson County, which sounds a whole lot like the first item that we just read, but those are in fact two separate bills, 379 and 380. And then lastly, on this same theme and with the same licensors and licensees, is Resolution 2020-381, Mendez, Murphy, Henderson, authorizes the Metro Department of Water and Sewerage Services, hereinafter called the licensee, to enter into a facility encroachment agreement with CSX Transportation, Inc., hereinafter called the licensor, to construct, use, and maintain sanitary sewer line in the railroad right-of-way along Hurricane Creek in Rutherford County. Alrighty, any objection to taking these three items together for discussion and vote? Okay. Seeing none, if you do, please don't hesitate to unmute yourself and declare.
Councilmember Henderson, this is Councilmember Bradford.
Yes, sir.
Can somebody, I guess this would be a request to pull off consent 381, because I'm confused. I have questions why we are voting on a bill that seems to be impacting Rutherford County.
Yeah, Councilman Bradford, here's what I would, we absolutely will have discussion about these. My intent, though, is because to facilitate the discussion, I would like to take them all together. So what I would propose is if somebody would make a motion to move 379, 380, and 381, we absolutely will have that discussion that you want to have. And if I could have a motion, please.
So moved. So moved.
Okay, moved and seconded. 379, 380, and 381 pertaining to all these are open for discussion. Councilman Bradford, you're recognized for your question to staff.
Yes, can someone from staff just explain why this bill, why we are voting on something that's in Rutherford County? Is it a connection to the Rutherford County that runs through Davidson County? Just kind of elaborate, please.
Staff, if this is your work, I don't know, Ms. Ladd, Ms. Kudstonis, if you're welcome to unmute, please, and respond to Councilman Bradford's question, please.
I need to look it up. My recollection is that it is a connection point. Is there someone from staff that can confirm that? This is Tara Ladd, by the way.
Thank you. Yes. And when you speak, please, if you would just state your name and your the office you're representing. Thank you, Ms. Ladd.
Mr. Honeysucker has his hand up.
I appreciate that, Mr. Honeysucker. You're welcome to unmute. I cannot see that from the view that I'm in, unfortunately. So we got to kind of be a little creative here. So you're recognized, Mr. Honeysucker.
Okay, thank you, Council Lady. Yes, that is correct. What Tara was saying, it does run into the Rutherford County area. What this is this is just part of our Clean Water Nashville program that's mandated by the federal law. And basically what we're doing with this legislation is obtaining easements from CSX, from the railroad crossing, for the new sewer interceptor under the Hurricane Creek Pipe Improvement Project. So it is to help with abatement of flooding, different things like that, where they're going and realigning the sewer lines to help with overflowing and different things like that. But this particular legislation is to acquire the 3 easements for us to allow our team to go in and do the work.
Okay, I appreciate that. Councilman Bradford, does that answer your question?
I believe so. Thank you.
Questions, colleagues, on these matters? Okay. Hearing none, with a motion and a second for 379, 380, and 381, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, any needing to abstain or voting no? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on in the agenda. Oops. Okay, Resolution 2020-382, Henderson classifies public roads in Davidson County, Tennessee. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Can staff please explain, this is fairly standard, we see it come through occasionally. I'm not sure if this is the first time for this body and new members on the council. Can someone on staff just briefly explain this legislation, please? If you are able to do so, you may unmute the mic. I'm unable to see your hands raised and cannot acknowledge you. So anyone on staff is welcome to speak.
Council Lady Henderson, this is Devin Doyle. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Mr. Doyle from Public Works, you're recognized.
So I believe this is an annual housekeeping item whereby the Planning Department in concert with Public Works officially updates the GIS for abandonments, some abandonments and new roads that are accepted through the development construction process.
Okay, I appreciate that. Mr. Doyle, I do have a question because it pertains to speed limits and various legislation. So when you say classifies, does that have any import with our major and collector street plan, whether something is classified as a neighborhood street, a collector street, or an arterial? Do you do any sort of reclassification through this process?
I don't believe that occurs through this process. That typically happens with an update to the major collector street plan, which works its way through the Planning Commission.
Okay, I appreciate that clarification. So for this is just housekeeping. It updates abandonments that would have happened within the last, I mean, is this an annual thing, or are we seeing this more often?
Council Lady Henderson, this is, sorry, Devin, go ahead if you want. It's Tara Ladd again. It's something the Tennessee Code annotated. It's in the legislation. 5410-103 requires us to classify the public roads in our counties, and we do have to do that manually.
Okay, and Ms. Ladd, does your what you're looking at Tennessee Code annotated, does that correspond to Mr. Doyle's remarks? I know we've got our major and collector street plan, but we also have this, and because we're city county consolidated, the neighborhood distinction, the collector distinction, the arterial distinction, is that coming into play at all in this document and legislation?
And now for this particular piece of legislation, this is only letting them know specifically what we've done. I am not completely familiar with that section beyond that, but what I can do is look into it and I can get back to you.
Okay. Well, knowing that this is housekeeping, and I'm interested to know as far as our major and collector street plan updates. But for now, I'm comfortable moving this forward. Do any other colleagues have questions about this? Again, in this presenter view, I am unable to see raise hand. So if a council member has an additional question, please unmute and state your name and I'll recognize you.
Council Lady Henderson, this is Councilwoman Sharon Hurt.
Yes, ma'am.
I was just wondering, is there any priority given to the public roads in terms of the infrastructure to improvements? And if so, how is that determined?
I don't know, Mr. Doyle, if that is a question for you, Council Lady Hurt. I would say that, you know, from a legislative perspective in our policy, we do make certain distinctions per our major and collector street plan. It kind of provides a framework for some of our sidewalk legislation. You know, our infrastructure, as far as how we prioritize that, usually that's proximity to residential density, public assets like schools, parks, et cetera. I do not know if there's a prioritization based on appropriation of funding for size of the street or capacity, arterial and collector. But I think, Councilor Hurt, if you feel it's appropriate, getting that clarification, similar to my question, might be a separate matter from this legislation that's before us. Would you be okay if we just make that as a question to staff to be reported back at next meeting?
Sure, thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Okay, on 382, colleagues, anybody else seeking to be recognized about this housekeeping update per TCA that we do annually? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of 382?
Aye.
Okay. Any in opposition or any abstaining? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on. 383, Resolution 2023-83, Johnston, Mendez, and others improves an intergovernmental agreement between the Tennessee Department of Transportation and Metro Public Works for signal maintenance for RSAR I-65 intersection at State Route 255 Harding Place, northbound ramp, exit 78 ramp Q project. And then let's see if there's anything else. There will be another one, but this is in Councilwoman Johnson's district. I believe I saw you, Council Lady Johnson. Are you present here? Would you like to move approval on this matter?
Yes, I'd like to move approval, please.
Okay. Is there a second, colleagues?
Second.
Okay. Ms. Johnson, would you like to share with us what this project is or ask for staff to do so?
Staff can speak to it much more eloquently than I can, but it's intersection improvement to the, it's either the on-ramp or the off-ramp, but I will let staff address it.
Okay. Public Works staff, can you speak to this, please? Ramp Q project, intergovernmental agreement.
This is Jeff Hammond with Public Works. This is a project that is funded by state and federal safety funds, administered by Tennessee Department of Transportation, like others we've talked about in the past. This is a formula-based project where they look at crash statistics, and in particular, in this type of project, ramp queues. So these are funds set aside by the state that are only eligible to be used on interstate highway ramp, where the ramp traffic from the ramp backs up onto the main line of the interstate. So the objective here is to solve those issues. And so this project makes some intersection improvements at Harding Place and I-65 northbound off-ramp to help that condition.
I appreciate that. Mr. Hammond, can you speak to pedestrian accommodations? I know when a lot of I-65 was built out there, it's really wide crossings for folks trying to walk in this area. When these sort of things are updated, are the turning radiuses, pedestrian crossing distance, all that stuff taken into account? Are there pedestrian accommodations for this ramp 2 project?
I don't believe there are on this particular project. We do look at that and often request that. I would make note that this one goes back some years. The the figure that you have in front of you, I've noted, is a 2014. So this one has been in the process for a while. I don't believe it contains any pedestrian improvements here.
Okay. Colleagues, we're seeing this a bit as projects that have been in the queue for a long time for TDOT. I think now, Mr. Hammond, is it accurate to say that a TDOT project like this, whether it's one of our pikes in North Nashville or just that the pedestrian accommodation and standards have been elevated by the state? So if this were to have been in the queue later or now, it might be engineered differently. Is that correct?
I would think so.
Okay. Council Lady Johnson, do you have any concerns about this project or any more questions about it? Are you prepared to move it forward today?
I do not. I'd like to move approval.
Okay. Colleagues, any other questions? Okay. Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Cooper, will you record me as an abstention on this one, please? 383. Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Okay. RS 2020-384 Welsh, Mendez, and others approves Amendment 1 to an agreement between the Tennessee Department of Transportation and Metro Public Works for the acceptance of work in connection with the construction of a complete street on State Route US 41 Murfreesboro Road from I-24 ramp to Foothill Drive. Council Lady Welsh, are you present? Council Lady Welsh? Okay, I guess for purposes of discussion, if somebody could move approval.
So move.
Second.
There's a letter from Mendez approving also.
Yes, Council Lady Hurt, but what I would say about that is Councilman Mendez always has a letter to approve. That's just sort of pro forma as to financial aspect of it, but I just want to make sure that the council members in whose district these projects fall are familiar with them and can have any questions answered if need be. So we do have a proper motion before us. Mr. Hammond, can you speak to this project and if Council Lady Welsh has been conferred with or is aware of this project? Mr. Hammond, you're recognized.
I cannot speak to whether she's aware of this project, although I would certainly think she is, because this is one that has been going for some time. This is one of about 3 similar projects that we're working with the state DOT on. And the reason it's back again, this has already been approved in the past. It's back again because we've progressed into design further and have an updated cost estimate for it. And so this is being brought back because of the change in cost estimate.
Okay, I appreciate that. I see that it is an amendment. And given that, Mr. Hammond, just so we're on the record here, can you please reach out to Council Lady Welsh and make sure she's aware of this project in her district and any of the changes to it, please?
We certainly will. Thank you.
Okay. All right, colleagues, we have a motion and a second. Anybody else have any questions? Okay, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed or abstaining? Hearing none. Moving on to item RS 2020-385, O'Connell, Murphy, and Henderson. Authorizes Nashville Underground LLC to construct and install an aerial encroachment, a sign, at 105 Broadway. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved for one meeting.
Oh, I apologize. Okay, Councilman O'Connell, please bear with me. I apologize. I cannot see the hand raised.
Sorry, I was just jumping in to make the motion.
No, that's fine. And so we can, Councilman Cooper, or rather, Mr. Cooper, since we're in committee and informal, can we just rescind the motion to approve so that Councilman O'Connell can make a motion to defer one meeting?
Motion to defer takes precedent anyway, so that's
Awesome.
fine.
Thank you. Councilman O'Connell, go ahead and make your motion.
Thanks. I'd like to move to defer one meeting. Make a brief second.
Second.
Okay. And I apologize. Did you say you wanted a brief explanation regarding that?
Yes, please. Thanks, Madam Chair. This, I'm sure a routine encroachment, although I was a bit concerned to see Nashville Underground on the list of establishments that were cited by the health this past week. So I wanted to get an update from public health on the status of that before we move this forward. Thank you.
Okay. So we have a motion to defer one meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Any abstentions or no votes? Okay. Hearing none. And colleagues, just again for a reminder, if you are joining the meeting a little bit late, I do not have the raise hand function visible to me. So you are welcome to unmute if you are needing to on any particular vote. Okay, bills on second reading. BL 2020-235, Mendez, Henderson, and others. Amends Metro Code Section 2.62040F and Metro Code Section 12.56170 to increase special event permit fees. So colleagues, by some kind of procedural quirk, this is back before us, but last it was in committee on June 2nd. We approved a motion to defer to the second meeting in July. And as such, I would just renew my motion for that deferral, please.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Any nays or abstentions?
Just a question. I know we can only defer things so often. Would it be better to just say this was put on the agenda unnecessarily and just pass it by?
I posed that question, Mr. Nash, to staff because I was surprised to see it back on our agenda. Mr. Cooper, can you speak to this? I think it was deferred by rule by the Vice Mayor on January 2nd, given the length of our meeting.
Right, we adjourned before completing all of the agenda items. So once there's a motion to adjourn, everything just automatically carries forward to the next agenda. So there's no problem with deferring this again.
Okay, I appreciate the clarification. Mr. Nash, does that answer your question?
It does, thank you.
Okay. All right, let's defer to July 21st. Okay, BL 2020-304, Withers, Murphy, and others. Renames a portion of Summer Place between South 4th Street and South 5th Street to Jerry Newson Way. Councilman Withers, are you present? Councilman Withers, are you present? Okay. Colleagues, just in an abundance of caution for street renamings, alley abandonments, and so forth, as you all know, I like to make sure the district council member is aware. So I'm going to suggest a one meeting deferral motion.
Madam Chair, this is Councilman Young.
Yes.
It looks as if Councilman Withers is aware, as he provided a letter to asking us to approve it.
Oh, I apologize. Thank you, Vice Chair, for bringing that to my attention. I am so very used to always seeing CM Mendez letter to approve. I just assumed that that was CM Mendez letter to approve per usual. I appreciate the clarification. Councilman Withers is indeed aware of this by notation on our agenda. I'm sorry I didn't see that. And so as such, is there a motion to approve?
So move to approve.
Second.
Second.
Hey, staff, can everybody make sure, is this New Sun with an S-O-N or New Sum with an M? I'm just giving you a heads up to double check that. But, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any against, any abstentions? Hearing none, moving on. BL 2020-305, Mendez, Murphy, Henderson accepts the donation of certain properties located on West Hamilton Avenue from Piedmont Natural Gas and approves the conveyance of easements across certain other properties to Piedmont Natural Gas. Let's see. I'm not sure district-wise where this is located. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Okay. Staff, anything we need to know about this? I see Councilman Mendez's letter to approve because it's accepting a donation, so it's a financial transaction or matter. Can you share with us in what council district this is and if the council the district council members aware of this? Anybody from staff that can speak to this bill? Okay, well, if staff would just.
I have Councilmember Henderson. I don't know the specific district that the bill is in, but I can speak to the contents of the bill itself if you have questions concerning the actual bill.
Yes, if you could just give us a brief 1-2 sentence explanation of this, please.
Of course. So the West Hamilton Avenue is in the floodplain. A while ago, with FEMA funds, we were able to purchase a lot of houses on West Hamilton. There were some holdouts, which left, us the inability for us to not or prevent people from rebuilding there and preventing them from possibly being flooded again. Surprisingly, after we had sort of given up on the holdouts, Piedmont came to us and said they are going to put a natural gas line through there. As a result of them deciding to do that, they condemned the remaining holdouts that were on West Hamilton. So now that entire area is clear. So that will no longer, be an issue with a public health and safety issue with respect to flooding. So what they've proposed and what we've accepted, since it's essentially the same cost, is in exchange for us granting them permanent easements for their gas line, they will provide us with the fee interest in the properties they obtain through condemnation.
Okay. All right.
Council Lady Henderson, that's District 2.
District 2. Okay. And so is that Council Lady Toombs?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I don't necessarily have concerns about slowing this down in committee for Council Lady Toombs' awareness, but Ms. Ladd, I would just ask, please, as always, if you just make sure the district council member is aware of this, please. And with that, colleagues, does anybody else have a question about this particular contract or matter? Okay, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, any nays or anyone needing to abstain? Hearing none, moving on. Okay. BL 2023-07, Murphy and Henderson abandons existing sanitary sewer main and sanitary sewer manhole and easements, and to accept new sanitary sewer main, sanitary sewer manholes and easements for properties located at 3717 West End Avenue and 101 Leonard Avenue. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. BL 2023-08, Cash, Murphy, and Henderson authorizes Vanderbilt University to install and construct and maintain underground encroachments in the right-of-way located at 2525 West End Avenue. We have a letter from Councilman Nash to approve. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to recognize Mary Pat Teague with Vanderbilt and ask her if she would just briefly, just in a few sentences, please describe this unique arrangement, which I think is, I appreciate as being fairly exemplary and working with a new development in the public right-of-way.
Okay, thank you, Committee Chair, and I appreciate the time to be here. I'm Mary Pat Teague. I'm with Vanderbilt University, and this is a project the university has put forward to improve pedestrian safety in a very high traffic area. It's at 25th Avenue South, which is just south of the intersection of West End and 25th Avenue. The university has made a lot of efforts in recent years to reduce the number of single occupancy vehicles coming to campus. And research has shown that if a pedestrian or even a cyclist feels safe, they will look for an alternative form of transportation. And so this is part of that bigger picture that we're working on. In addition to the more immediate thing of improving safety, we have a lot of students, faculty, staff, and people who come to the campus for events, such as it's just a half a block down the road from Memorial Gym. So we've gone through the process of approval for all the metro departments. They approve it. This will be done at the university's expense. And we hope that it'll be a good sort of good model for others probably to take advantage of. So I'm happy to answer any questions you may have about the project.
Okay.
Chair, I have a question.
Any questions about this for Ms. Teague?
Yes, Berkeley Allen, I have a question, please.
You're recognized, Ms. Allen.
Thank you. First of all, isn't that on Terry Wallace Way?
Yes, yes, it is. Thank you so much, Councilwoman, for pointing that out. Yes, it is the honorary Perry Wallace Way from, thanks to Councilwoman Allen, it runs from West End Avenue all the way through to Blakemore.
That's exciting. But my real question is
now Cassius district.
Yeah, I'm excited about the in-ground lighting. Can you tell us a little bit about how you talk Public Works into doing that, and if that's very expensive, and if we can do it in other places?
Well, actually, I think we had a lot of really good discussions with Public Works about this, and I don't think it was so much talking them into as just having them understand what we wanted to do, and had selected a product that will is pretty heavy duty and will take the traffic, and even will take snow plows coming through there if we ever have that happen. So, yeah, and I think it's just, kind of sometimes it's good to have projects like this that people can point to and see as opposed to kind of read about. So we're excited to do this project.
Great. Well, I appreciate y'all being the pilot on that. I hope we can see more of those.
Thank you.
Okay, colleagues, any other questions for Teague? Okay, hearing none. Ms. Teague, thanks very much. I know this is a pretty complicated intersection there, but very highly trafficked. And so we appreciate your engagement with Public Works staff to do something noteworthy here to elevate the level of safety. Thank you for your partnership.
Well, thank you for your time today.
Thank you. With that, colleagues, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Any abstentions or nays? Hearing none. I think we're moving to the hopefully last item on our agenda. BL 2023-09 O'Connell, Murphy, and Henderson authorizes SMH Holdings LLC to install, construct, and maintain underground encroachments in the right-of-way located at 1708 Pearl Street. Councilman O'Connell, I will defer to you for the motion on this, as this is in your district.
Move approval.
Okay, second? Okay.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hey, Councilman O'Connell, I assume there wasn't anything you wanted to say on that. We have encroached about 10 minutes on our Budget and Finance Committee meeting. And so with that and our agenda complete, I will adjourn the meeting of the Public Works Committee. Thank you.